They walk among you, silent, composed, untouchable. While you scroll, complain, and chase comfort, their calculating moves 3 layers deep. They don't run toward pleasure. They orchestrate it. They don't chase validation. They manufacture it. They've mastered the ancient principle that true power lies not in possession, but in perception. Control what people see, and you control what they think. Control what they think, and you own their reality. They understand the crowd better than the crowd understands itself. While you react, they observe. While you argue, they listen. And when they finally move, it's surgical, calculated, deliberate, and unstoppable. They know wealth isn't about having more, it's about needing less. They're not slaves to luxury. They use luxury as camouflage. The expensive suit, the quiet car, the rare smile, it's not vanity. It's psychological warfare. Every action they take is a whisper to the unconscious mind of the masses. They project confidence when others panic. They appear generous while they consolidate power. To them, morality is a tool, not a chain. They don't care about being liked. They care about being respected. Admiration fades. Fear endures. You see, emotion is the leash that keeps men ordinary, the powerful cut that leash early. They understand that when you feel too much, you lose control. And control is everything. When you can stay calm in chaos, when you can smile while others break, that's when the world begins to serve you. The crowd feeds the throne. The weak feed the strong. Now type it in the comments. I am not part of the crowd. Say it like a declaration, not a wish. Number 1, the art of illusion. Power isn't about domination, it's about direction, quietly steering the emotions of others while appearing unmoved yourself. The powerful understand that human beings don't chase truth, they chase feelings dressed as truth. So they give the crowd what it craves, certainty, confidence, charisma, and in return, they harvest obedience. Every empire, every fortune, every untouchable legacy is built on this psychological foundation: control perception, and you control behavior. The art of illusion is not about deception, it's about design. The powerful design their presence with intention, their tone, their timing, their silence. It's choreography. They know that the human mind fills in blanks, and the less you reveal, the more people invent about you. Mystery becomes magnetism. Distance becomes dominance. The crowd admires what it cannot fully read. They use image as architecture. Their clothes, posture, and voice are instruments in a symphony of influence. They don't need to prove power, they need only signal it. The average man wastes energy explaining himself, trying to be understood. The powerful remain still, letting others interpret them, and in that silence they gain leverage. You see, attention is the new currency. Those who command it rule those who seek it. The weak shout for recognition, the strong whisper and get listened to. The powerful understand that influence is not about being loud, it's about being inevitable. Every word they speak is calculated. Every pause is strategic. They know that uncertainty creates tension, and tension keeps the crowd hooked. The longer people wonder, the longer they remain under your spell. That's not arrogance, it's psychological precision. Understand this truth. People don't want freedom, they want direction. They don't want leaders, they want stability. Give them the illusion of both, and they'll follow you anywhere. Now comment this phrase to mark your transformation. Perception is my weapon. Because once you master illusion, the world doesn't resist you, it starts to obey you. Number 2, control through chaos. Chaos is the crucible where real power is forged. When the weak panic, the strong plan. When the crowd screams for order, the powerful quietly build empires behind the noise. Most men run from uncertainty. The powerful run toward it because chaos is camouflage. It hides their moves while exposing everyone else's weaknesses. Understand this. Chaos isn't the enemy. It's the environment. And those who can control themselves inside it become unstoppable. The world doesn't reward the loudest or the most emotional. It rewards the one who remains still while others burn. When the masses are blinded by fear, the powerful become the architects of calm. They don't react to events, they engineer outcomes. They know that in every disaster lies opportunity, because emotion clouds logic. The man who can stay cold while others lose control becomes a magnet for power. In chaos, people crave certainty. Offer it, and they'll hand you their trust, their loyalty, even their freedom. This is why the rich stay rich while others struggle. They understand the psychology of storms. They don't try to stop the waves, they learn to surf them. When the market collapses, they buy. When the public panics, they smile. When emotions spike, they observe like predators watching prey exhaust itself. Their calmness isn't kindness, it's calculation. Every chaotic moment is an open door for those who know how to walk through it without trembling. To control chaos, you must first control yourself. You must detach from comfort. Comfort makes you weak, struggle makes you sharp. The powerful don't seek peace, they seek clarity. Peace is fragile, clarity is eternal. When you're clear, you can weaponize chaos. You can turn panic into profit, confusion into advantage, and loss into leverage. And here's the dark truth. The world is designed to keep you emotional. Every headline, every distraction, every dopamine hit, it's a leash. The powerful built that leash, and they pull it daily. They understand that as long as you feel too much, you'll think too little. You'll buy what they sell. You'll obey without question. They don't need chains when they control your attention. The powerful create controlled chaos to test loyalty. They destabilize to see who stands firm and who cracks. They understand that pressure reveals truth about people, systems, and intentions. In their world, trust isn't spoken. It's proven in turbulence. They know that when the environment shifts, the masks fall off. That's when they strike. Chaos doesn't destroy them. It defines them. It reveals their discipline, their detachment, their dominance. While the world burns, they build cathedrals of control from the ashes. Their silence becomes their sword, their patience their armor. So when chaos comes, and it will, don't flinch, don't complain, don't react. Study, adapt, act with precision, not emotion. Because in that moment, you are either the one being moved or the one moving others. Comment this right now if you understand. I move through chaos untouched. Write it like an oath, not a quote. Because if you can remain calm while the world loses its mind, you won't just survive, you'll rule. The powerful don't fear chaos, they command it. They use it as fuel, as leverage, as disguise. The next time the world trembles, remember, power isn't found in peace, it's built in the storm. Number 3, the psychology of control. Control isn't about domination, it's about direction, the invisible hand that shapes outcomes without being seen. The powerful understand this better than anyone. They don't force obedience, they influence behavior. They don't chase authority, they create environments where authority flows to them naturally. Control begins with the self. You cannot command others until you can command your impulses. You cannot shape outcomes if you are still at war with your emotions. The weak seek control over people. The strong seek control over themselves. That's why the powerful move with composure. Their silence unnerves others because it's not emptiness, it's mastery. They've learned that restraint is the purest form of strength. The powerful understand that people crave structure. The average man says he wants freedom, but he fears it. Freedom means responsibility, uncertainty, risk. Most would rather surrender control than carry that burden, so the powerful offer the illusion of choice while quietly guiding the direction of the game. The crowd gets to feel empowered, but the powerful own the rules. Control is psychological warfare. It's not about telling people what to do, it's about making them want to do it. The powerful manipulate emotion, not logic, because emotion drives action. They understand that humans are predictable when they're afraid, desperate, or in love, so they use fear to build dependency, scarcity to create desire, and reward to reinforce loyalty. Notice how easily society obeys the patterns designed for it. Trends, outrage, and pleasure, all engineered mechanisms of control. The powerful don't get lost in them, they invent them. They decide what you should want, how you should feel, and what you should fear. They craft narratives so strong that rebellion becomes self-defeating, and all of it happens silently, beneath the illusion of free will. That's the Machiavellian principle. Control perception, control emotion, control action. Influence the first, and the other two follow like shadows. The psychology of control also requires emotional detachment. The powerful don't take things personally, they take them strategically. They don't react to disrespect, they calculate the cost of a response. Most men lose power because they react impulsively. They confuse pride with strength. But the powerful know that ego is the easiest leash to pull. Insult a man's pride and you can steer him like a puppet. The one who controls his pride controls his destiny. Control isn't loud, it's quiet precision. It's knowing what to say, when to say it, and when silence is the deadliest weapon. It's maintaining composure under pressure while others expose their insecurities. It's the subtle smile that unsettles your enemies because it reveals nothing yet implies everything. To control, you must also understand leverage. Leverage is power without force. It's the ability to influence outcomes without confrontation. Money, information, reputation, time, all are tools of leverage. But the greatest leverage of all is psychological dependence. Make people need you. Make them rely on your approval, your validation, your presence. The more they depend on you, the less you need to move to control them. The powerful also weaponize scarcity. They understand that people value what they cannot easily access, so they limit their availability, their words, their presence. The less they offer, the more others crave it. This isn't arrogance, it's strategy. Scarcity builds mystique, and mystique builds reverence. And here's the cold truth. People respect what they fear losing. Show them you don't need them, and they'll need you twice as much. Show them detachment, and they'll cling harder. Control is not maintained by domination, it's maintained by withdrawal. The powerful never chase, they attract. They don't beg for loyalty, they demand it through silent expectation. To become powerful, you must become emotionally untouchable. That means no reaction to disrespect, no panic under pressure, no begging for validation. You must develop the stillness of a mountain and the patience of a hunter. The powerful think in seasons, not seconds. They know that impulse is the enemy of control. They study people like maps. Every gesture, every tone, every inconsistency, data. They analyze without emotion, categorize without judgment, and move when the time is right. They understand that every person can be influenced. It's just a matter of understanding their desires and fears. This is why the powerful win in the long run. They don't fight every battle. They choose only the ones that matter. And when they strike, it's final. They drain energy from those who waste theirs in constant motion. Their calmness is not passivity, it's precision. They conserve energy, then unleash it with devastating accuracy. In a world of noise, they are silence. In a world of reaction, they are calculation. In a world of chaos, they are command. But here's the paradox. The more control you seek over others, the more enslaved you become to their reactions. True control comes from detachment, from knowing you can walk away from anything, anyone at any time and still remain whole. That's what makes you untouchable. Once you master control, you stop chasing outcomes. You start creating them. You become the variable others adjust to. Your silence commands attention. Your composure intimidates the emotional. Your patience outlasts the impulsive. This is the point where the powerful separate from the rest. They're not ruled by fear or desire. They observe both like scientists watching experiments. The world bends toward their will because their will is constant. While everyone else fights for balance, they are the balance. And so if you want to step into that realm, you must first destroy the old version of yourself, the one that reacts, the one that seeks approval, the one that breaks under stress. The world respects only control, not chaos, and that control starts within. Comment this right now if you understand. I control myself. Therefore, I control reality. Let it be your code, silent, unshakable, absolute. Because once you master the psychology of control, the world stops being a battlefield and becomes your chessboard. Number 4, the law of leverage. Leverage is the invisible force that moves the world. The powerful never waste strength. They multiply it. They don't fight battles head-on. They make others fight for them. They understand that control without leverage is temporary, but with leverage it becomes destiny. Leverage is not about manipulation in the petty sense. It's the art of influence without exposure. The rich, the rulers, the decision-makers all operate by the same silent law. Never use force when you can use leverage. They own time, information, relationships, and emotion. You fight with effort, they fight with positioning. The average man works hard to earn approval. The powerful design systems where approval flows toward them. They understand that whoever controls resources, information, or belief controls outcomes. The masses labor for wages. The powerful build frameworks that extract value from the labor of others. You call it unfair, they call it efficient. Leverage is everywhere if you know where to look. A word whispered at the right ear, a favor owed by the right person, a secret known at the wrong time. Leverage doesn't shout, it waits. The powerful don't use it impulsively. They store it like ammunition, patient and quiet, until the moment the target forgets they're vulnerable. Then, one calm move, and entire structures collapse. Leverage begins internally. You cannot command external advantage until you have self-leverage. That means discipline. When your word is law to yourself, others start treating it as law too. Discipline becomes your brand. Consistency becomes your weapon. Every habit you master adds to your leverage. The man who wakes when others sleep, who acts when others think, who remains calm when others break, that man becomes dangerous. The powerful understand that emotional leverage outweighs physical power. They study desires, fears, and patterns because they know every man has a lever, something he'll bend for. For some, it's greed. For others, pride or validation. Once they find that point, they can guide anyone, no matter how strong. You can't defeat someone who understands what moves you more than you do. Leverage is also built on detachment. You can't negotiate effectively when you need the outcome. Need is weakness. Detachment is dominance. The one who can walk away always wins. The powerful don't cling, they calculate. They understand that desperation is the death of strategy. You can't pull strings when you're tied to one yourself. You must learn to act like you already have everything you need. That mindset alone terrifies manipulators. When you don't seek approval, attention, or validation, no one can control you. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Financial leverage follows the same principle. The poor trade time for money, the powerful trade money for control. They understand that true wealth is the freedom to direct others' time instead of selling your own. They don't chase income, they build influence networks. Every investment, every contact, every idea is a seed that grows while they sleep. They're not playing for today, they're positioning for decades. Leverage also hides in perception. If people believe you're powerful, they treat you as powerful. Influence begins in the mind of others. The rich and influential project composure, scarcity, and confidence, signals that trigger submission. That's not vanity, that's psychological engineering. People follow those who appear unshaken because stability is rare, and rarity commands respect. To use leverage effectively, you must stop seeking equality in every interaction. Equality is a myth in the realm of power. Someone always has the upper hand, the one with more control over emotion, information, or timing. The powerful accept this truth and ensure they're never the one beneath it. You gain leverage by giving value first, not as charity but as calculated generosity. Give strategically and you plant obligation. People remember favors far longer than words. When the time comes, they'll bend under the weight of debt they can't admit. That's leverage disguised as kindness. Silence is another form of leverage. The moment you stop explaining yourself, others start explaining for you. They fill the silence with assumptions, often ones that elevate your status. The powerful rarely correct those assumptions. They let perception work in their favor. Speak little, imply much. Let curiosity do the heavy lifting. Even time itself is leverage. The patient man always defeats the impulsive one. The world worships speed, but power rewards precision. The powerful delay gratification until timing bends in their favor. They understand that waiting is not weakness, it's weaponization of patience. Consider how nations, corporations, and leaders play this game. They don't declare war, they apply pressure, economic, emotional, political. They isolate targets until surrender looks like a choice. That's leverage on a grand scale. The same psychology applies in everyday life. Control the variables others depend on, and you control the people themselves. Remember this principle. The one who controls options controls outcomes. Offer choices that all lead to your advantage. The weak think they're deciding. The powerful know they're being guided. That's the beauty of invisible influence. It feels like freedom while it delivers obedience. Leverage is about making the world work for you, not against you. But it requires emotional precision. You cannot master leverage if your emotions leak out like cracks in armor. You must learn the art of stillness, the unflinching calm that intimidates chaos itself. Every reaction reveals a weakness. Every silence conceals a weapon. So when others provoke you, remain motionless. When they rush, you slow down. When they speak loudly, you whisper. These contradictions break their rhythm and remind them you are operating on a higher plane. Leverage is rhythm control, the ability to dictate pace, tone, and timing. Whoever sets the rhythm owns the outcome. The final layer of leverage is legacy. The powerful think generationally. They design systems that outlive them, brands, ideologies, families, structures. Even in death, they continue to rule because their influence has become self-sustaining. That's the ultimate leverage, immortality through impact. You're not born with leverage, you build it through discipline, detachment, observation, and silence, through the patience to watch chaos unfold without flinching, through the clarity to act only when the moment is ripe. That's how kings rise while others crumble. So start small. Gain control over your time, over your impulses, over how you're perceived. Build connections strategically, not emotionally. Make your words rare and your presence valuable. Every ounce of restraint adds weight to your influence. Every act of patience tightens your control. Remember, leverage is the weapon of the quiet. It's how the powerful bend the world without lifting a finger. Now comment this if you understand. Leverage is my silent weapon. Say it as a vow, because once you master leverage, you no longer chase power. You become it. Number 5, the ruthless calm. Calmness isn't weakness, it's dominance disguised as serenity. The powerful understand this truth. When emotion governs the crowd, stillness becomes a weapon. In a world addicted to reaction, the man who can remain composed becomes a force of nature, impossible to read, impossible to move. This is ruthless calm, the ultimate advantage in the psychology of power. You've seen it before, though you may not have recognized it. The calm man in the room unsettles everyone else. His silence demands respect without a word. People project meaning onto his stillness, trying to interpret what he's thinking, where his next move lies. That's the first layer of control, psychological gravity. The powerful don't chase attention, they make attention orbit around them. Ruthless calm is not about passivity, it's about measured aggression. It's the ability to strike with precision, not passion. The calm man isn't emotionless, he's in command of his emotions. Anger doesn't rule him, it fuels him. Fear doesn't stop him, it sharpens him. The masses let their feelings dictate action, but the powerful weaponize those same feelings for advantage. When chaos erupts, the weak panic, the strong pause, because in that pause lies clarity, the space where decisions are made while others lose control. This is where power consolidates. In the middle of storms, when others scramble for safety, the powerful watch the board with cold detachment. They see opportunity in collapse, leverage in panic, profit in disorder. The powerful know that every emotional outburst costs authority. The more reactive you are, the easier you are to manipulate. Show a man how to trigger your emotions, and you've handed him a map to your weakness. That's why the powerful guard their emotions like state secrets. They don't vent, they calculate, they don't explain, they execute. Their restraint is terrifying because it suggests preparation. Ruthless calm also dismantles enemies before words are spoken. The man who cannot be provoked controls the battlefield. People fear what they cannot predict. They can handle hostility, but they crumble under indifference. When you refuse to engage emotionally, you deny them their weapon. You make them question their own control. That's when they self-destruct. This calmness is not born of apathy. It's forged through discipline. You must train your mind like a blade. You must detach from ego, from the desperate need to be understood or vindicated. You must understand that your reaction feeds your enemies more than your silence ever will. Every time you respond impulsively, you give away power. Every time you remain still, you accumulate it. Look at the most dominant figures throughout history, the kings, the strategists, the empire builders. They all mastered the same art. They looked composed in public, even when chaos surrounded them. That appearance of control became its own kind of control. The crowd sees calm and assumes capability. Fear disguises itself as respect. Respect transforms into obedience. Ruthless calm isn't just about staying cool. It's about dictating the temperature of every room you enter. Your energy controls the emotional weather around you. If you're calm, others must adapt to your rhythm. They can't stay chaotic in the presence of stillness. It disarms them. The powerful know this. They use silence like a conductor uses a baton, leading the symphony of reactions around them. But calmness, without awareness, is fragile. True ruthless calm comes from understanding human psychology. You must know how emotion operates in the mind, how fear narrows perception, how anger clouds logic, how excitement blinds discernment. Once you see these mechanics clearly, you're no longer inside the game. You're above it, watching, guiding, deciding. You become like the chess player who doesn't flinch when his queen is taken because he knows 10 moves later his opponent will kneel. Every small loss is part of a larger calculation. That's calmness, the confidence to let the short-term burn while the long-term unfolds in your favor. You must understand, calmness isn't passive, it's predatory. The lion doesn't roar before it kills. It studies, it waits, it moves when the prey is certain it's safe. That's how you strike in life, in business, in strategy. Every great manipulator, every ruler who outlasted enemies mastered this lion-like patience. They speak last, act rarely, but when they do, it's decisive. Ruthless calm also reshapes perception. People will start interpreting your restraint as strength. They'll call you mysterious, intimidating, disciplined. That's not magic, it's psychology. In a reactive world, detachment becomes charisma. People equate composure with certainty, and certainty breeds trust. You'll find that when you no longer compete for attention, it begins to seek you instead. The world rewards emotional neutrality. Why? Because emotion reveals need. Need reveals weakness, and weakness invites exploitation. When you show no need, no urgency, no insecurity, you signal independence. Independence is magnetic. It tells others you are complete, self-contained, dangerous. The powerful cultivate this aura intentionally. They project tranquility externally while engineering chaos internally. The balance between those two forces is where control lives. To build ruthless calm, you must first confront your triggers. Who or what can make you lose composure? Find it, study it, starve it. Every time you resist the impulse to react, you reinforce your dominance over yourself. Every situation that tests your patience is a sparring session in power. Most people waste energy fighting others. The powerful fight their own weakness. And once you've mastered calmness internally, extend it outward. Speak less, move slower, observe more. The slower you move, the faster you learn. The less you talk, the more others reveal. Silence is not emptiness, it's interrogation through absence. The weak can't stand silence, they fill it with confessions. The powerful use it to extract truth without a single question. Your calmness should unsettle people. When others expect anger, give them indifference. When they expect panic, give them poise. When they expect retreat, give them stillness. Every deviation from expectation gives you control. Predictability is weakness. Composure is chaos disguised as order. But make no mistake, ruthless calm does not mean softness. It means you strike without emotion, and that terrifies those ruled by it. The calm man is the most dangerous man in any room because his actions are not reactions, they're executions of intent. Every move he makes has been decided long before the provocation. He doesn't fight battles, he ends them. The crowd confuses calmness for vulnerability because they mistake movement for strength. They think dominance requires aggression. The powerful know the opposite. Aggression is noise. Calmness is signal. The more reactive you are, the more predictable you become. The calmer you are, the more unknowable, and the more others submit without realizing why. To master ruthless calm, you must love solitude. Solitude refines the mind. It removes the noise of validation, the illusions of ego. In silence, your mind sharpens like a blade against stone. You begin to see the patterns others miss, the rhythms of emotion, the manipulations of the weak, the opportunities hidden behind chaos. And when calmness becomes your default, you no longer fear loss. You realize that no outcome can define you, no insult can move you, no threat can unseat you. That's when true power emerges, from stillness that cannot be disturbed. Ruthless calm is not the absence of emotion. It's the domination of it. It's turning emotion into energy, not chaos. When the crowd drowns in its own noise, you remain unshaken, observing with quiet authority. That's when people begin to follow, not out of obligation, but out of instinct. They sense leadership in your composure. Understand this. Calmness is command. Not in voice, not in gesture, but in presence. The kind that bends a room without speaking. The kind that makes others lower their tone unconsciously. The kind that tells the world, you cannot move me. So cultivate this ruthlessness. Let your calm become colder than their chaos. Let your silence cut deeper than their words. When they shout, stand still. When they rush, take your time. When they crumble, stay upright. The longer you hold the frame, the faster they collapse. This is the secret the powerful will never teach you. Control isn't about domination. It's about resistance. The ability to resist emotion, to resist urgency, to resist validation. Because when you no longer react, the world reacts to you. Comment this right now. My calm is my crown. Write it as a declaration, not a line. Because once your calm becomes unbreakable, your power becomes unquestionable. The ruthless calm is not a mask. It's a mantle. Wear it. Rule with it. And when the storm comes, stand so still that even chaos bows before you. Number 6. The anatomy of power moves. Every move you make either builds your throne or buries it. The powerful understand this instinctively. Their actions are never random. Their silence is never empty. They operate through precision, an architecture of intent. Every gesture, every word, every delay is part of a psychological sequence designed to dominate without appearing forceful. This is the anatomy of a power move. A true power move doesn't look like one. It's subtle, strategic, invisible until it's irreversible. While the weak announce their plans, the powerful act without warning. They strike when emotion blinds others and vanish before accountability can catch up. They know that control is lost the moment people see your hand, so they never show it. Power moves begin with positioning. The powerful never place themselves in a situation where they depend on the mercy of others. They design circumstances where others depend on them. That's not luck. It's deliberate construction. Control the environment and you control the people within it. Whether it's a room, a team, a negotiation, or a social circle, the one who defines the context defines the outcome. Next comes timing. The impatient act when they feel. The powerful act when it's time. Timing is everything. Strike too early and you look desperate. Strike too late and you look weak. But strike in perfect rhythm and the world believes it was meant to happen. The powerful don't chase momentum. They create it through silence, observation, and calculated entry. Another component is framing. Framing is how the powerful bend perception in their favor. Whoever defines the story wins the power struggle. They don't argue, they reframe. If they lose, they redefine what winning means. They make their version of events feel inevitable, logical, even righteous. The crowd doesn't question it because the mind seeks coherence more than truth. The powerful know that image is leverage. They craft it deliberately, not as vanity, but as armor. Their appearance, demeanor, tone, all communicate dominance. They understand that people submit first to presence, then to intellect. When you look unshakable, people treat you as such. That's why they invest in composure. It's the most intimidating accessory a man can wear. A power move is also rooted in silence. The powerful speak less because words dilute mystery. Every unnecessary explanation weakens your position. They let others talk themselves into mistakes, revealing their motives and insecurities. Silence is the most elegant form of interrogation. The one who listens longest always knows the most, and the one who knows the most controls the room. Control is further amplified through contrast. The powerful create emotional imbalance in others through unpredictability. Sometimes they're warm, other times cold, sometimes generous, other times distant. This inconsistency keeps people chasing approval. When others can't predict you, they can't manipulate you. And uncertainty breeds obedience because people seek stability in dominance. A master of power moves also understands sacrifice. You must be willing to lose small to win large. The powerful often give up something visible to secure something invisible. They may concede credit, comfort, or a short-term victory, but what they gain is far greater: long-term leverage. Every sacrifice is a setup, every loss a disguise. The weak see defeat, the powerful see investment. There's also detachment, the emotional steel that keeps you from reacting when provoked. When others try to insult, pressure, or manipulate, the powerful remain still. Their calmness flips the dynamic. The aggressor becomes exposed. People are unnerved by those who won't play emotional games. Detachment doesn't mean apathy, it means focus. The powerful stay fixated on the result, not the noise. But beneath all this lies the heart of every power move: psychological anticipation, the ability to predict behavior before it happens. The powerful read human nature like a map. They notice micro-reactions, the glance, the hesitation, the tone. These small signals reveal truth before words do. Anticipation lets them prepare traps while others stumble into them willingly. Power moves thrive on control of rhythm. Every interaction has tempo. The weak match the pace, the powerful dictate it. They slow conversations down when others rush, and accelerate them when others stall. Rhythm control turns every meeting, debate, or negotiation into a dance where only one partner knows the choreography. The anatomy of a power move is not just manipulation, it's mental precision. The powerful view the world like a chessboard. Emotional players lose, strategic ones endure. They don't react to how things are, they act to make things how they should be. Every encounter is an experiment in influence. And here's the dark truth: most people want to be led. They crave certainty, structure, and dominance. The powerful don't abuse this, they use it. They fill the leadership vacuum others are too timid to claim. That's why they don't ask for permission. They define authority through action. When you move with confidence, people assume you know where you're going, even if you don't. A master of power knows when to disappear. Withdrawal is one of the most potent moves. When you step back at the peak of attention, you create scarcity. People interpret your absence as value. They chase your return. The powerful use this to reset the board, vanish, recalibrate, and re-enter with amplified mystique. Never stay too visible for too long. Mystery decays with familiarity. Every power move, no matter how grand, depends on one simple principle: control yourself before you control others. You must operate like a strategist, not a soldier. Emotions cloud sight. Ego blinds precision. Power is lost not through weakness, but through impatience. So before any move, the powerful ask 3 questions. What do I want? What will they do? And what must I make them believe? Those questions guide every action. Every gesture becomes deliberate. Every glance becomes communication. Power is not chaos, it's calculation disguised as grace. You don't need wealth, status, or fame to master power moves. You need awareness, restraint, and time. Awareness reveals opportunities. Restraint protects position. Time makes you inevitable. Combine the three, and you become the architect of outcomes. Remember this, the world is not run by the strongest or the smartest. It's run by those who understand timing, framing, and silence. The powerful don't just play the game better, they design it. So practice this daily. Pause before reacting. Speak with purpose. Observe before deciding. Detach from validation. Let people underestimate you, then execute flawlessly. Let them think you're passive, then move when they least expect. The most devastating moves are the quiet ones. The powerful live by a silent code. Never explain, never beg, never hurry. Power is patience under tension, composure under chaos, precision under pressure. Comment this right now. My moves are silent, but they echo forever. Say it with certainty. Because once your actions become intentional, you no longer play the game, you become the game. The anatomy of power moves isn't about being ruthless, it's about being inevitable. Learn to move with cold precision, strike with invisible intent, and retreat with grace. That's how empires are built, not through noise, but through silence sharp enough to cut through time itself. Number 7, the art of psychological warfare. Power is not just about what you control, it's about what you can make others believe. This is the essence of psychological warfare, the oldest, most elegant form of dominance. The battlefield isn't out there, it's in the minds of those around you. The powerful don't fight with weapons, they fight with perception. They understand that if you control what people feel, you control what they do. The weak think war is physical. The powerful know it's emotional. It's not fought in the open, it's fought in whispers, glances, and calculated silences. Every interaction is a skirmish of influence. Every decision you let others make is one you've already guided. The key isn't manipulation for its own sake, it's control through design. The first rule of psychological warfare: confusion is control. When people can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. Keep them guessing. Be warm one moment, cold the next. Give them clarity, then take it away. Humans crave certainty. Deprive them of it, and they become malleable. The unpredictable man owns the predictable one. The powerful use confusion to break emotional rhythm. When others expect confrontation, they offer calm. When others expect kindness, they deliver silence. Every deviation from expectation destabilizes control in the other person's mind. This is not cruelty, it's dominance through contrast. The second rule: fear is leverage, not terror, subtle fear, the kind that grows in the absence of understanding. The powerful cultivate an aura of danger without ever being overtly threatening. They let people wonder what would happen if they were crossed. That curiosity becomes caution. Caution becomes compliance. Fear works best when it's not confirmed, only implied. The third rule: ego is a weapon. Most people are slaves to theirs. Flatter it, and you can guide them. Wound it, and you can control them. The powerful alternate between praise and distance, feeding ego when useful, starving it when necessary. It keeps others dependent, always seeking approval that never quite arrives. It's not kindness, it's calibration. The fourth rule: silence is intimidation. In a conversation, silence creates imbalance. People rush to fill it, revealing more than they intend. The powerful don't interrupt, they observe. The longer you stay silent, the more others expose their fears, insecurities, and motives. Words are cheap, reactions are currency. But the ultimate rule, the one that separates the manipulators from the masters, is this: make them fight themselves. The highest form of psychological warfare is self-destruction through suggestion. The powerful plant ideas subtly, allowing others to believe they made the choice themselves. Once someone believes the thought was theirs, they'll defend it with conviction. That's true control, guiding behavior without being seen. Psychological warfare is not about aggression, it's about direction, steering outcomes invisibly. The powerful don't argue, they redirect. They don't attack directly, they implant narratives. They let others carry the weight of their own manipulation, believing it was free will. Watch how this unfolds in society. Leaders don't tell the crowd what to think, they give them a framework for thinking. They release emotional triggers, then watch as the masses police themselves. It's control by suggestion, not force. And it's far more effective because no one rebels against what they believe they chose. On an individual level, you must master emotional mirroring. Reflect others' emotions just enough to make them comfortable, then subtly shift the tone. If they're angry, stay composed. If they're uncertain, project certainty. This dynamic creates dominance. People instinctively follow the one who controls the emotional environment. Another critical tactic: remove predictability. Predictability makes you readable, and if people can read you, they can manipulate you. Change your rhythm, your tone, your response speed, your emotional visibility. Keep them guessing whether you're an ally or a threat. Uncertainty breeds caution, and cautious people make controlled decisions. Remember this: the one who controls emotion controls momentum. In any conflict, business, relationship, negotiation, the emotional center determines the victor. The powerful never let their opponent dictate the emotional tone. If someone tries to provoke anger, they respond with indifference. If someone tries to guilt them, they respond with silence. This emotional contrast creates imbalance, forcing the other person into reaction mode. Every emotional reaction you provoke is energy you can redirect. This is energy conversion, turning their emotion into your strategy. The powerful never waste anger, they harvest it. They let others burn energy while they remain still. Stillness becomes suffocating power because it denies others validation. They want you to react. Your refusal becomes punishment. In psychological warfare, detachment is supremacy. You must observe, not absorb. Every insult, every lie, every attempt to provoke is data. The emotional man loses because he believes every attack is personal. The powerful see it as performance, a test of composure. Detachment turns manipulation into entertainment. The next layer of control is presence management. The powerful understand that absence can be louder than words. Sometimes disappearing creates more anxiety than confrontation ever could. Withdrawal is power. It makes others realize the void you leave behind. Your silence forces them to fill it with speculation, and speculation is the seed of fear. You must also understand emotional scarcity. Don't give attention freely. Attention is energy. It must be earned. When you make your validation rare, people will chase it. The more they chase, the more leverage you gain. The powerful know this: the one who cares less commands more. Indifference is irresistible because it signals control. Now here's the darker truth, the one most can't face. Compassion itself can be weaponized. The powerful use empathy strategically, not sentimentally. They give just enough warmth to disarm, then withdraw to create dependence. The crowd mistakes that withdrawal for depth. In truth, it's just tactical empathy, a tool for influence. But psychological warfare isn't only external, it's internal. You must first dominate your own mind. The enemy inside you is impatience, insecurity, and reaction. The moment you believe your emotions, you've lost to them. The powerful train daily in mental discipline. They treat calmness like a ritual, silence like a strategy, patience like a sword. In this war of perception, reputation is armor. The powerful protect it ruthlessly. Every action, every word, every pause adds to the myth of control. They understand that perception creates expectation, and expectation directs behavior. When people expect you to win, half your battle is already done. Psychological warfare thrives on anticipation and restraint. You must see 10 moves ahead and act as if nothing is happening. Every great manipulator appears innocent until the trap closes. This is why they win. They never appear as the villain. They let others become their own downfall while they play the savior. And yet the ultimate victory in psychological warfare is invisibility. When people don't even realize you're in control, you've reached mastery. The true general doesn't need to stand on the battlefield. He directs the war from shadows. That's how the powerful stay rich, influential, and untouchable while others fight each other for scraps. You can't fight what you can't see. You can't defend against what feels like your own choice. That's why the most effective weapon of all is belief. Shape belief, and you shape destiny. So learn this craft. Don't argue, redirect, don't react, observe. Don't dominate, design. Every word, every silence, every distance must serve a purpose. The moment you begin thinking strategically about emotion, you stop being a pawn and become the player. Now comment this right now. I control emotion. Emotion does not control me. Say it as an oath, not a quote. Because once you master psychological warfare, no insult can wound you, no flattery can sway you, no chaos can reach you. Remember, control the mind and the world will follow. Number 7, the shadow of power. Power always casts a shadow, and that shadow is the truth most men are too afraid to face. The higher you rise, the darker it becomes beneath you. Every throne is built on quiet ruthlessness, every empire on a collection of unseen sacrifices. The powerful understand this. They don't chase light, they master their shadow, because power, real power, demands an intimacy with darkness. The weak think power corrupts. The wise know it reveals. It strips away illusions and exposes your raw instincts. It shows whether you are a leader or merely another animal wearing a suit. The powerful accept this truth early. They stop pretending to be good, they aim to be effective. They know morality is a language of control, a system designed to chain men through guilt. The powerful study morality the way a hunter studies prey, not to obey it, but to understand how it moves. The shadow of power is the ability to face human nature without flinching, to see manipulation, greed, deceit, and not look away. Because if you deny the darkness, it controls you. But if you acknowledge it, you can use it. That's what separates the untouchable from the obedient. The powerful don't avoid conflict, they design it. They don't suppress envy, they redirect it. Every dark emotion, every impulse, every flaw can be converted into strategy. They understand that humans aren't logical, they're emotional machines pretending to be rational. Control the emotional current and you control the direction of humanity. To master your shadow, you must first confront it. Every man has one, the part of himself he hides from others. The anger, the jealousy, the hunger for dominance, the thirst for recognition. The weak suppress it and call themselves virtuous. The powerful face it and call themselves real. You cannot become powerful without embracing the parts of you that society told you to fear. The desire for control, the instinct for victory, the taste for silence while others scream. These aren't sins, they're tools. Power is not clean. It never was. The sooner you accept that, the faster you evolve beyond the illusions that keep others obedient. The shadow also teaches patience, because every rise in power demands restraint. You'll be tempted to flaunt your strength, to prove your dominance. But the powerful never reveal the full scope of their control. They allow others to underestimate them. It's safer that way. Overexposure is the death of influence. The shadow thrives on mystery. You must learn to walk the line between invisibility and presence. Too much visibility invites resistance, too little, irrelevance. The powerful move like ghosts, known but not understood. They let their influence speak louder than their presence. That's why they appear untouchable. They're not always seen, but they're always felt. The shadow also demands emotional austerity. You cannot crave validation and remain powerful. Every compliment is a leash, every insult is bait. The powerful accept neither as truth. They know the crowd's approval is fickle. It builds idols today and burns them tomorrow. You must detach from both praise and criticism. Your worth must be internal, not rented from the opinions of others. Understand this. To stand above, you must walk alone. Isolation is not punishment. It's purification. The powerful learn to enjoy solitude because it clarifies vision. The noise of others dilutes purpose. In silence, the mind sharpens, the instincts strengthen, and the shadow becomes an ally instead of an enemy. The shadow of power also reveals the loneliness of mastery. Few will understand your calm. Most will mistake it for arrogance. They will envy your discipline because it reminds them of their own lack of control. You will be hated, misunderstood, and studied. That's the cost of leadership. The powerful don't seek to be liked, they seek to be remembered. The more power you gain, the more you must resist the urge to prove it. The truly dominant man has nothing to prove, only things to protect. The shadow whispers restraint. You could destroy, but you choose not to. That choice is what defines true control. Power without discipline is chaos. Power with discipline is civilization. The shadow also gives you clarity about others. Once you know your own darkness, you can recognize it in everyone else. You stop expecting loyalty from the self-serving. You stop mistaking kindness for morality. You see every person for what they are, a collection of needs and fears waiting to be leveraged. This isn't cynicism, it's vision. You must learn to observe without judgment. The world runs on self-interest. Pretending otherwise only blinds you. The powerful don't hate the system, they master it. They adapt, they manipulate, they thrive. They understand that even virtue, at its core, is a form of currency. People do good because it buys reputation, comfort, or belonging. Once you see this, the game becomes clear. The shadow of power also demands emotional containment. Rage, desire, greed, all dangerous if uncontrolled. But harnessed properly, they become jet fuel. The powerful don't suppress passion, they redirect it. Rage becomes focus. Desire becomes discipline. Greed becomes strategy. Control your vices and they become virtues in disguise. The weak waste emotion, the powerful channel it. That's why their actions seem cold. They're not driven by impulses but by intention. They don't react to insult or threat. They calculate responses like a sculptor shaping stone, slowly, deliberately, perfectly. And the more they master their shadow, the more dangerous they become.